Young Drunk.
Hey, welcome to the Micheaux Mission. 2 men, 1 podcast, every black film ever made. My name is Len, aka the Bat Tribble. And as always, I'm joined by my partner.
Hey, this is Vincent Williams.
Tonight, we are reviewing Little Man
From
2006, a Wayan Brothers joint, written and directed by Keenen Ivory Wayans and Shawn and Marlon Wayans, who also star in this film alongside Kerry Washington. A comedy just for you tonight here on the Micheaux Mission. But
Yeah.
as we are streaming live from Young Junk, Philadelphia's premier video podcast palace, to all points north, south, east, and west, including YouTube, where each and every one of you are out there in the chat. Hello, missionaries.
Good evening, one and all.
We come to you today with a heavy heart because we have lost not one, but 2 notable stars recently. And I'm going to take a moment real quick, Vincent, if you don't mind, to speak of one of the stars that we lost just today. And that is, at the age of 76 years old, Ozzy Osbourne passed away. Now, I'm just pointing this out because I don't know how much Ozzy Osbourne may mean to the average missionary out there, but he is a name that definitely resonates in culture because of his music, his metal music with Black Sabbath, and along as a solo performer. He may ring out for people from his reality show, The Osbournes, which was a huge hit in the days of MTV, in the early days of reality TV. But he's a name, and I can't speak for you, Vincent, but he's a name that resonates for me because as I was growing up, I used to listen to the Howard Stern show on a regular, and Ozzy Osbourne was a frequent guest of the Howard Stern show. I'm not a huge fan of his music. I'm sure I know 1 or 2 of his songs, but I don't know them by name. I know that he bit a bat's head off on stage. That's what I know. But on the Howard Stern show, Ozzy Osbourne would get on there, and he'd be Ozzy Osbourne. So he'd be slurring, he'd be speaking in, it hard English. You can't, like, I'm wishing there were subtitles on the radio. But he was still 100% authentic as hell, right? And one moment resonates with me so deeply about Ozzy Osbourne. He was on the Howard Stern show to promote, I think, some concert that he had.
Sure.
And him and Howard Stern were busting it up. But it was a big day on the Howard Stern show because Paul McCartney was coming on to be interviewed.
Okay.
And Ozzy Osbourne, near the end of his interview with Howard, said, "Yeah, I'm hearing all this bustle. Yeah, it's for me. It's like, no, hey, we got Paul McCartney coming on." He's like, "Surely you know Paul McCartney." And Ozzy said, "I've never met the man. I've always wanted to meet the man. Would you mind if I meet him?" And sure. And this was the days of Howard was doing like the TV show, the E Network television show. So the cameras caught Ozzy Osbourne saying hello to Paul McCartney. And Ozzy Osbourne, you could tell, was a kid. He was literally a kid, like, "Oh my God, Paul McCartney, it's so pleasure to meet you." They sat down, they closed the door for a little bit and talked and everything like that. And then when Paul McCartney came on, Howard's like, "Yeah, you met Ozzy Osbourne." He was like, "Oh, he's a great chop. He's a great chop." And we chopped it up and had a good time. But he kept it like secret, whatever they talked about. But I just thought that was such a human, real moment, and it endeared Ozzy Osbourne to me ever since. And every time I saw him, he's been just 100% a very authentic dude. When his kids got into like a whole bunch of craziness on his show, he was outright, it was probably was the show is the problem. That probably was a mistake of mine to put them on the show at so young. He was very open and honest about that. He was open and honest about his issues with drugs, his health. I just really actually found a deep admiration for the guy, and and I knew that he had had some health challenges over the last few years. Even though he did one last big show just a few weeks ago, I think maybe a month ago, with a ton of like rock stars and metal stars on stage with him, and it was his last show, and to see that he passed not soon after, it's like he went out like he wanted to, like a G he was. So Ozzy Osbourne, much love.
You should listen to some Black Sabbath.
I know I have. I just don't know it by name. I know Iron Man.
That man. That is befuddling. that is the part of his legacy.
What do you mean befuddling? That I like the man more than the music? What's befuddling about that? I think that actually should be more endearing.
You should listen to some Black Sabbath.
Okay, maybe I will.
Rest in.
But I've got Ozzy.
Yeah. Right.
All right. But.
And also.
There was the tragic loss yesterday that we found out that on Sunday, Malcolm Jamal Warner, Theo of The Cosby Show, passed away at the age of 54 years old due to a tragic accident off the shores of Costa Rica on vacation with his family. A name that resonates with America in general, but Black America especially, as Theo, as one of the breakout star of The Cosby Show. Malcolm Jamal Warner embodied, what an aspirational point for a lot of young Black men in the 80s, and continued to model that point throughout his career, throughout everything that he did, throughout when he was on Malcolm and Eddie, throughout when he was all of the other shows, throughout his directorial aspirations, throughout doing poetry, truly becoming a Renaissance creative musician. In the last few years doing podcasting, Malcolm Jamal Warner is just, what can you say? He really was a man who was a stand-up guy, a stand-up professional, and a beacon in Black culture.
I mean, yeah, it's tough.
Right.
Like it really does feel like a family member. Like as you mentioned, we've known Malcolm Jamal Warner since he was a teenager.
Yes.
And since many of us were teenagers, I think.
Yeah, because not only did we watch him grow up,
many of us grew up with him.
I know I did.
I think we talk a lot on this show about Black humanity, and the importance of Black humanity and depictions of Black humanity. And we live in a country and a culture that, frankly, is very vested in dehumanizing us, frankly.
Yep.
Like so much of the way this country moves politically and socially, the foundation is the dehumanization of Black people. And in the 80s, when not only this generalized dehumanization, I think we were criminalizing Black boys, your thugs, your drug dealers, your super predators. You cannot overemphasize how important it was that Theo Huxtable was one of the biggest images in the world from the beginning to the end. And he was so human, like he tried to get girls. He'd get a girl, he'd lose a girl, he had trouble with homework, he would get his ear pierced, he, wanted an expensive piece of clothing and couldn't get it, so he tried to get a knockoff. And so much.
He believed he could live on bologna sandwiches.
He believed he could live on bologna sandwiches. Again, we talk about this concept of a hit show, but for our younger missionaries, you really have to understand a hit show in the 80s was an entirely different beast.
It was.
And the Cosby Show was the biggest show
Absolutely.
in the world. And in the middle of it was Theo Huxtable. And as you said, he was an aspirational figure. Certainly, you know, we were the same. Me and him were the same age.
Oh, that's right.
So it really was a mirror, or what you wanted to be a mirror.
That's right.
And if that was his legacy, that would have been enough, frankly. But as you mentioned, for someone who had been in the public eye since he was a teenager, Malcolm Jamal Warner carried himself with dignity and class. He was deeply invested in the arts and positivity and blackness, and it is like losing a family member. It really is. You know, condolences to, frankly, to all of us.
Yes.
Condolences to all of us. Certainly condolences to his wife and his young daughter.
Yes.
And it's a lot. Speaking
of family, we heard from longtime friend of the show and formerly our social media director, Toya Haynes, in regards, who has a deep affection, as all of us do, for Malcolm Jamal Warner. And she sent me this that she'd like to share. This is from Toya. I had posters of Malcolm Jamal Warner all over my school locker and my bedroom walls. I even made a Malcolm Jamal Warner keychain because in a world of Kirk Cameron's and Ricky Schroeder's and Jason Bateman's, we finally had Theo. Theo was important. A black suburban teenage boy who was cool, but not too cool. He was allowed to be vulnerable and young and romantic and flawed. I really needed to see that. Because his counterparts have always had that privilege, while a lot of our characters did not. I had so much pride putting those posters up in my locker. Theo was ours. Theo was also the first neurodivergent character I remember ever seeing.
Yeah.
And that was huge. And that was huge when they noted that he was dyslexic.
A lot of people were introduced to dyslexia because of Theo.
Yep. And he said that remained of all the things that people would come up to him about. That was one of the things that...
Oh, yeah.
Toya continues, I had so much pride putting those posters up on my locker. Theo was ours. It's really not fair how our entertainers have to bear the weight of representing an entire people, but I am so happy to say that he never let us down.
Yeah.
Not once.
Yeah.
I've often heard he's exactly who you think he is. I am so grateful to him.
Look, again, these people have public personas because they're public.
Yes.
Back channel stories, off the record stories, friend of a friend stories, to a person. And again, since 1984, people talk about how good Malcolm Jamal Warner was. Yep. To a person. You know a dude that works at NBC, you know somebody who interned at this place, you know somebody that lives in Atlanta, you know this one. To a person, everyone talks about how good of a man Malcolm Jamal Warner was.
Yes, they do.
So it is, yeah.
He will be deeply missed.
Yeah.
Now, true story.
Okay.
As you know, I've had many careers.
Yeah.
So at one time, I was trying to get out there in the acting field.
Sure.
Right? So, and I remember going to my mom and dad. It's like, hey, I'm going to go try and get acting. I got to go get headshots or whatever. And my dad said, well, let him go. Hey.
Sure.
He looks just as good as anybody else out there. I'm like,
That's the daddest compliment
right,
ever.
right. But when I got my headshots, my dad and a lot of my friends said, "Hey, you look good. You look like Theo."
It was the greatest compliment you could get.
They said I look like
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I never saw it.
Look, man.
But unfortunately, with his passing, and then looking for images of him, I stumbled across an image of him that I think maybe I see it.
Look.
I think maybe I see it.
People gotta understand.
That's an image of me.
Yeah. Well, there you go. There you go. Was not ready for that. We're doing it live, folks. There were no images. Look, 1984. There's no social media.
Nope.
You know,
there's not even email, is there?
No, it's nothing. It's nothing. Yeah. No, there's nothing. You have Todd Bridges, but even by then Todd Bridges
had already kind of like aged out.
Had kind of aged out.
And it had some issues.
For all intents and purposes, there was no hip hop. Like the Cosby Show comes on in 84, September of 84. I looked up 2 Touchstones. Breakin' came out that summer.
Okay.
Run DMC, the album Run DMC came out April of that year.
Of 84?
Of 84. King of Rock doesn't come out until the next year.
Wow.
So if you talk about hip-hop
as we really know it.
Hip-hop is really a regional thing. Like the only reason you kind of pause is because you were in Philadelphia.
Right. I'm right there.
So it's like epicenter. New York and Philadelphia, it's sort of a regional thing.
Hadn't even really hit the coast.
So
East Coast.
There are no MCs in the public eye. There are no young black actors. You know, Will Smith isn't a hint of a thing yet.
Not at all.
It really is Malcolm Jamal Warner.
That's right. You're right. Wow, that is crazy.
Look.
That is crazy.
And like Toya said, he carried it with grace and dignity. Mm-hmm. He, after the Cosby Show, he was not defined by Theo.
No, he was not.
But he didn't run from it. Like I always liked how he threaded the needle of Theo.
Yeah.
Like I've done more since the Cosby Show. I've continued to act. As we said, I'm a poet. I play I'm a musician. I do all these things, but I understand what this means to people, and I carry it appropriately. Yeah. So, and as a Cosby Show aficionado, I think the best episodes are Theo-centric. So,
he will be missed.
Yeah,
he will be missed. All right.
Yeah. Moving forward,
let's get into the show. Let's hear from you, missionaries. That means your emails, or as we like to call them,
missives from the missionaries. So what else is going on, Lynn?
We have emails, Vincent.
Ooh, missives from the missionaries. Ooh. Missives from the missionaries.
All right, missives from the missionaries. Vincent, we have an email from Steve Aldis.
Hey, Steve.
A writer of note who wrote us to say, just listen to your interesting and entertaining discussion with David F. Walker on Shaft's big score.
Okay, excellent.
I extensively researched all aspects of Shaft for my book, The World of Shaft, which David wrote the foreword, which was published 10 years ago. This is the only book of its type documenting the history of Shaft on print and on screen. And a lot of topics you discussed are covered in the book. If you like, I will happily send you a copy to help with research for your program. I note that you will be covering Shaft in Africa in a future episode. Well, thank you very much.
And we would like.
We definitely
We would like.
He goes on. There's a lot of information here, but I'm going to cut to the end. I am currently working on a second edition of The World of Shaft that will contain at least 50% more material, including coverage of the Tim Story film and Davis comic books and novel, as well as expansion on the original text. I look forward to, with great interest, to hearing your further coverage of the Shaft series. All the best, Steve Aldo.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And we will be in touch.
Absolutely.
Most definitely. All right. Okay. We also heard from Court.
Hey, what's up, Court?
Greetings to Len, Vincent, missionaries. I first want to say I enjoyed the Miss Juneteenth episode from July 2021.
Yeah, good movie.
Maori Holmes and Denise Bleak.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that Len mentioned Miss Juneteenth to not only me, a viewer, but to the missionaries who haven't watched this beautiful, amazing film.
Mm-hmm.
The episode was hilarious, and it proves two things for me. Len really does earn the nickname Old Man Len. Because I never knew he was older than Vincent.
I like that. I was born. I don't know if I like all that loud music, though.
And Vincent is a true Baltimore person.
Oh, yeah.
I want him to say QQ7 5 times.
What, Q227?
227.
227. Oh, yeah, 227. 227. Oh, yeah, all day, every day.
In all seriousness, though, it is one of my favorite Micheaux Mission episodes. I really wish this movie was added to the updated Black film canon from 2022-2023. Hope you both have a great week. P.S. Will the Aretha biopic and Aretha miniseries be available? Also, we need a Belly Mission Logs episode uploaded on Apple Podcasts. Much love, Court.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Belly Mission Logs is coming.
Yeah. I think the important takeaway from that is that if you've not watched Miss Juneteenth, go watch Miss Juneteenth.
Oh, yeah.
And that's all I'm going to say, because, you know, if I think about Nicole Bahari enough, I get enraged.
I know.
With how she's been treated.
I know.
So.
We have an email from Michael Sykes.
What's up, Michael?
And this is in regards. Hello, Len, Vincent, missionaries. Have y'all ever heard of a movie called Marcy X with Damon Wayans and Lisa Kudrow?
Yes.
If so, let me know.
Yes.
I haven't seen it. Thinking about checking it out. Let me know.
I think there's a better use of your time.
This weekend, I watched Sinners for the third time, and I couldn't help but imagine, what if Quincy Jones had scored the film? Don't get me wrong, the movie and its soundtrack is already incredible. But picture this. A touch of Quincy's genius from the 70s or 80s infused into this 2025 masterpiece, a soundtrack that could elevate every scene, every moment beyond what we've already experienced. Quincy Jones wasn't just a composer, he was the maestro of musical fusion, from jazz legends like Dizzy Gillespie, Count Basie, and Lionel Hampton, to blues icons like B.B. King and Big Mabel, from soul voices like Aretha, Barry White, Chaka Khan, even venturing into country with Glenn Campbell and Steve Miller.
That's right.
Quincy Jones didn't just dabble, he mastered every genre shaped by African American culture. His cinematic scores weren't mere background, they were characters in their own right. In the heat of the night, he wove blues, jazz, and bluegrass into a tapestry that heightened every emotion and every tension. Imagine that same brilliance layered over the world of Sinners, a melodic landscape so rich, so soulful, rooted deeply in history, yet vibrant with innovation. With Quincy behind the scenes, the music would breathe, transforming good scenes into unforgettable ones, lifting the narrative to emotional heights only he could reach. It's not just nostalgia. It's recognizing that Quincy's blend of heart, truth, and musical alchemy knew no bounds. His soundtracks didn't just underscore stories, they created worlds. And in Sinners, I couldn't help but feel we could have experienced something transcendent. So here's a possibility. What if we could channel Quincy's spirit into today's cinema? His legacy reminds us that when you dare to bring authenticity, courage, and genre-defying artistry to film, you don't just score a movie, you elevate it. Len and Vincent, what is your opinion on this? Also, what is your favorite Quincy Jones movie that he scored or his albums? As always, stay real, stay black, stay strong. Right on, brothers. Love your fan, Micheaux.
All right, I should probably just let this go so we can keep moving, but I actually disagree. I don't think Quincy Jones would have done as good of a job on the score of Sinners, and I'm basing that on his work. I think Quincy Jones always had a polish in sheen to his work across the board. And you know, Michael name checked, you know, like he really did, whether we're talking about his solo albums in the 70s with the jazz R&B, his R&B albums, obviously, you know, that kind of Michael Jackson, Tevin Campbell period. You know, he mentioned some of the country work that he did. I've listened to a little of that. Obviously, the big band work. I think Quincy Jones, and even The Heat of the Night, which you know, I think Ray Charles does the best that he can to make that kind of bluesy. But I think when you listen to The Heat of the Night, the theme song, and certainly the score from the film, there is a real polish to it that I think one of the great things about Sinners is the messiness of it.
Yeah.
Like the dirt and the blood and the grit, and like you get the sense everybody in Sinners has calluses on their hands, whether from being undead or dealing with cotton or playing the blues or whatever. And I don't know if I would choose Quincy Jones to do that.
Yeah, I don't think so. I would either. And I think my reason is because Ludwig Göransson, who worked with Ryan Coogler on Sinners and worked with Ryan Coogler on all of his films.
I was about to say that's basically part of his team.
They're a partner.
Yeah, that's part of his team. Yeah,
and I think when you think of the music of Ryan Coogler's films, they work hand in hand with the vibe that all the films have. And I think that is born because of the partnership that the two of them have. And I would see in this moment, especially a bigger name as Ryan Coogler is, Ryan Coogler working with Quincy Jones, Ryan Coogler's not working with Quincy Jones. He's saying, I got Quincy Jones on this doing my movie.
What would you like to do, Mr.
What do you
Jones?
want to do?
Yeah.
How does it sound to you? You know what I mean? I think he's being a little bit more deferential.
Yeah, but you know what? Even that, like I'm going to stick to, and I'll answer his question. I do think, and the 2 or 3 times that we've talked about Quincy Jones, we've said a version of what I'm about to say. Whether we're talking about, because he did like Change Your Habit, I think. Like I think Quincy Jones did the Change Your Habit.
Oh, that's the Elvis Presley movie, right?
No, not Change Your Habit. What's the Raymond St. Jacques?
Oh,
Change Your Mind or
I know what you're talking about.
Anyway, if not that, he does something on that level.
Yeah.
And then, you know, obviously we've talked about like The Wiz, but my favorite Quincy Jones score is a film that we did that we both loved, where he elevates it like what I'm talking about, and that'd be Brother John. Like I love the Brother John score, which I've quietly looked for. I found pieces and bits of it.
It's interesting. I'm not even seeing Brother John listed. Oh, there it is. Brother John. Yeah. I actually. Oh, wow. I didn't know that he did the score for The Getaway. I do like The Getaway.
Of course you do.
I do like that. And I like the music for The Out of Towners. But But I honestly, and he did the movie for the music for The Split.
The Split's another one.
Split.
Another, but again, there's this polish to it. Like there's this, like this is a film.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I honestly, of all of these, and I like a lot of the I'm looking at the films that he has done scores for, and he's done some good stuff. You know, In the Heat of the Night, The Italian Job, the movies that we just mentioned, The Split, They Call Me Mr. Tibbs, did that, of course.
Was I right about Change Your Mind?
I'm not. I'm looking under to see something.
Yeah, it might not be Change Your Mind, but it's some random movie we watched that the movie wasn't that good, but then like Quincy Jones did the music, and we were like, it kind of elevated the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm not seeing.
Yeah, it might not be Change of.
I'm not seeing that here as I'm looking through them. None of these are coming to my mind. But honestly, the Quincy Jones score that resonates to me the most, the best, and it's not for a movie.
What is it?
It's Sanford and Son.
I mean, does he do the whole score, or does he just do the theme?
He does the music. Any original music on that show is Quincy Jones. So
Right.
even when, because they use pieces of it for some of the interstitials,
Right.
you know, like transitions. So I would go there, and after that, I probably go Heat of the Night, because I do love the music in the Heat of the Night.
Okay. I'm wrong, by the way.
He didn't do
He didn't do it. It was Duke Ellington that did. I knew somebody did.
Oh, which one was that? Because
Change Your Mind.
Okay.
Yeah, Duke Ellington does Change Your Mind.
Yeah.
I knew it was something, because I was thinking, I was getting mixed up with Anatomy of a Murder. And I was like, well, that's Duke Ellington now.
Ellington too,
So why am I thinking? So that's, I knew it was some dumbass movie we saw that the music was like.
It's too good for this.
It's like, why are we using this music for this?
That's true. That's true.
That's what it is. I'm mixing up my wonderful score makers.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you, Michael, for that.
Thank you, Michael.
For that email.
And Michael, I'll give you this. I'm not just going to curse the darkness. I'll light a candle. Adrian Young doing the Skinner score might have been interesting. All right.
Good one.
All right. Sorry.
We have an email, of course, from Michael Lockett.
Hey, Michael.
Greetings, my brothers, fellow missionaries, lovers of Summer of Comics. First, I'd like to extend my condolences to the family, friends, and fans of Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Yeah.
This is a sobering loss because he is barely older than me. Life is short. Make the most of enjoying every bit you can.
That's real talk.
Real talk. I've never felt closer to you two than last week, as you both basically said, bruh, get the F out of here with that learning tree-ish. Your list was on point until you started feeling yourself and stopped thinking. It made me feel like family. The double billing of Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood and Undercover Brother with Damon Young was an outstanding pairing. I'm not as down on Don't Be a Menace as it seems you three were. I could see the potential in Shawn and Marlon, as well as the vignette type style being taken to straight silliness as they do in subsequent films. Undercover Brother was a great rewatch. I had only seen it once and forgotten about most of it.
Yeah.
It's a respectable flick, even for Eddie Griffin. I feel you, Vince. The Wayback Machine, sans Mr. Peabody and Sherman, dropped me off with you two as you critiqued Borderline. This is truly an avant-garde piece that, given its time period, is an amazing creation.
Mm-hmm.
So many metaphors for life and relationships, all done with evocative imagery. It's a tough watch through the storytelling of 2025. If you are into art and film, you should see it. If not, most people will get annoyed with this film. Finally, I started compiling Vincent's white papers and wanted to know what I'm missing. And are the titles correct? Len Webb, serial killer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I've done extensive research on that. That's an ongoing project. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Walter Mosley. Hey, he's old and he's an old black man. He don't care. And he don't care. That's interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
One has to go. Last Dragon rapping The Help.
Mm.
Ooh, well, I know my vote. Anika Noni Rose.
I gave you the short version.
Yes.
Like,
Gave me Cliff Notes.
is the full title that I'll refer to it in the first paragraph. My paper, Anika Noni Rose. Henceforth, I shall just call it Anika Noni Rose. Ellipses.
Race swap game. I don't play that.
It's true, I don't.
Sports. The canary in the coal mine for civilizations. College. Wings and beer make movies better.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
pretty much is everything you
Look. We joke. I was just talking about my roommate because we were talking. Yeah, that was my education. That was a lot of my film education. Going to Blockbuster and then stopping and getting beer and wings and then coming home and.
Were you talking about your roommate or talking to your roommate? Because aren't you still friends with your roommate?
I was talking about a roommate that I'm still friends with, but this was one of the roommates that he was the responsible one. Remember, you always had to have a dude around who had the Blockbuster card that still worked?
Yes.
That was Joey.
Okay.
Yeah, Joey had the Blockbuster card. And it was a delicate balance because on the one hand, you had to convince Joey to let you use the card. But then on the other hand, was it worth him getting on your nerves for the next 2 days to make sure that you got the film back?
On time. And rewound.
And rewound, that's right. Oh, yeah.
Your white papers conclude with 2 more, Vincent.
Okay.
Croft Superstars.
Yeah.
They were on that stuff.
They swear they weren't. I don't believe them.
And finally, I find your lack of cheesesteak knowledge disturbing.
Yeah.
All the best, Michael.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah. That's a lot of stuff.
That's a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff.
We have one final email.
Okay.
And this is from Mo Popular.
Hey, Mo.
Hey, missionaries. R.I.P. Theo.
Yeah.
For some of us, he was the first nerdy black dude we could be affirmed by. That's very true.
100%.
Missionaries, I heard a vicious rumor. I didn't like it, so I had to send an email to confirm. I heard one of our own was stepping down. Not stopping the mission, but giving up the keys to the mission bus or mission ship or whatever. I heard we might be losing our Dylan.
Yeah.
Can it be true? Dylan, you've been a great asset to the show. As producer and engineer, you've let Len and Vincent relax and lean into the show, which has made the show much better.
That's real talk.
You've pivoted on the dime when Len got a wild hair to, quote unquote, try something new. You stay focused during so many digressions, such as break fronts, 70s cartoon superheroes, and rules around the cookout.
Yeah.
And when I came by the studio and totally screwed up the Game of Kings, you were graceful and forgiving. It was great meeting you, Dylan. Wishing you the best on your future endeavors. You leave a large set of shoes to fill. You've added to the work of black film criticism, and it's been appreciated. Your contributions to the Micheaux mission were felt and allow for the mission to continue. Thank you for your service, Mo Popular. Well, I guess Mo has buried the lead.
Yeah.
Tonight
Cat's out the bag.
Is Dylan's last show here on the Micheaux mission, as well as with Young Junk. Dylan is going to be taking his talents elsewhere.
Yeah.
And Young Junk is the lesser for it. It goes without saying that Dylan has been a huge part of our real, true transition to YouTube.
It's true.
He's been with us pretty much since maybe day 2.
Yeah.
Here
At
oh
yeah.
And he has become definitely has left his footprint on our show. I will miss him adding to this podcast in the very special way that he does. I don't know about Vincent, but I will also miss the Secret podcast that I was a solo guest for every day between him and Vincent as they talked about hip hop and books and things that I knew nothing about.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed watching those two commiserate. I'm looking at the camera, but Dylan, you know how much you mean to me, bro. Going to miss you, man.
Absolutely, Dylan. Absolutely. And you're always part of the team.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know that.
And I do not say that lightly.
He doesn't.
I don't.
You just do not know.
I don't like many people. I really don't.
Nope.
But I do like Dylan.
He does.
Best wishes, Dylan.
Best wishes.
May the wind be at your back.
And with that,
and
since Mo's not here, let's do the Game of Kings.
The Game of Kings.
6 Degrees of D'Urville Martin. Six Degrees of D'Urville Martin, where I give Vincent 2 actors and he has 6 films or less to connect them to D'Urville Martin, another man gone but not forgotten and forever a member of the team.
Always, always.
So, keeping it in theme, Vincent, we are going to be reviewing Little Man.
Yeah, we are.
Today.
We are.
Stars one Marlon and Shawn Wayans.
It does. It does.
So, in 6 films or less,
We're going to do some brothers.
connect D'Urville Martin to these other famous Marlon and Shawns.
Oh, interesting.
Starting with, in 6 films or less, connect D'Urville Martin to Marlon Brando.
Marlon Brando. I got a couple of ways I could go with Marlon Brando. Mm-hmm. You know what? I've never actually seen The Wild Ones.
Oh.
Who's in that with him? Anybody famous in that with him?
I'm trying to think off the top of my head if there's anybody famous in there. What's his name? Plays the father. Stanley Kramer. Well, the person I'm thinking of is Robert Keith.
Okay, I don't know who that is.
But Lee Marvin's in that.
Lee Marvin.
Yeah, he's probably the only other name.
Sure. Because I'm thinking like I really only know Marlon Brando for that on the waterfront.
You know who's in that?
That's what's his name?
Streets of San Francisco.
I was about to say, Mr.
You're there.
Carl Carl Malden. Yeah. Who's also with him in A Streetcar Named Desire.
Oh, is Carl Malden in that?
Yeah, he's the one that's actually dating old girl.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
I've only seen that movie once.
Oh my goodness, really?
Yeah.
I am shocked.
Yeah, I've only seen it once.
Why is that? It's amazing.
No, it's a good movie.
I don't even like old movies like that, but that is my jam.
I know.
Yeah, let's stick there. Because he's in it with Carl Malden, but he's also in it with Vivian Leigh. Mm-hmm. And Vivian Leigh is, of course, here's something, because we don't use this that often. Vivian Leigh
or is it Janet Leigh?
I think it's Vivian. Pretty sure it's Vivian.
Maybe, but I
make sure because I need her. If it's not,
so we're looking at Streetcar, right?
Yeah, Streetcar Named Desire.
You're right, Vivian.
Yeah, Vivian Leigh because I need her because she is in Gone with the Wind with Butterfly McQueen. Mm-hmm. Butterfly McQueen is in Amazing Grace.
Oh.
With Rosalind Cash.
Yeah.
Who is, of course, in Uptown Saturday Night with Sidney Poitier, who, as we all know, was in Guess Who's Coming to Dinner.
With who?
With D'Urville Martin.
Very good.
Yeah. How many was that? Felt like
8.
I was talking. So it was a Vivian Lee, Butterfly McQueen, Rosalind Cash. Yeah, so that's 4. Okay, all right. Yeah, oh yeah.
Very good.
Oh my goodness, Lynn, Streetcar Named Desire is amazing.
I like it. I've only seen it in totality once.
Oh, and Marlon Brando is amazing in that.
No, he is.
Yeah.
I mean, he is very good in that. I like him more in On the Waterfront, but he's good in the Streetcar. He's a good actor.
I think he's pitiful in On the Waterfront. He's actually mean.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah.
Like it really is that Tennessee Williams. Like there are no noble proletariat poor dudes. Like poor dudes are mean and small, and they take advantage of those of us who are beautiful and see things and this. And then the irony, of course, is that the homoeroticism is all Stanley. But then Stanley represents this character that Tennessee Williams usually positions as the homophobic dude. All right, I'm sorry. I love Streetcar Named Desire.
I can tell.
Yeah. And I catch my students out every time I teach it because the play is different than the movie.
How so?
Stella leaves him in the movie. She doesn't leave him in the play.
Interesting.
Yeah, like Tennessee Williams, like, nah, the way this works is that she stays with him because the world is ugly and brutal and nasty.
Interesting.
So, like, you always, every now and then.
That doesn't play well, so that I can see
before the chat GPT, like, the kids would try and watch the movie or something, and it's like, no, not Tennessee Williams. No, it is ugly and mean. And she stays with him because she's also a coward. Interesting. But Carl Malden is dating an old girl, and it's like, how old are you? Well, yeah. Because she's got the stuff on the. I only like 5 old movies, but I like them a lot. The ones I like.
What old movies do you like?
So is that I love my musicals. I love my 2-3 musicals.
Okay, so it's a Streetcar
Named Desire.
Yes. 7 Brides and 7 Brothers.
Oh yeah. Well, my musicals is 7 Brides for 7 Brothers. My Fair Lady is one of my favorite movies of all time.
You get on me. Okay.
West Side Story, of course.
Okay.
You
dare talk about?
It's science fiction, but it's old. The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Okay.
Is one of my favorite joints of all time. Touch of Evil.
Yes. Do you like The Third Man?
I don't like it as much as Touch of Evil, but I like it.
Okay.
I like it.
Okay.
If I never watch The Third Man again, I'll be all right.
Okay.
Strangers on a Train.
Yes.
I actually think Citizen Kane is great.
Citizen Kane is a fantastic.
Like Citizen Kane is actually a great film. I know we all kind of, but
No, it is a legitimately great. It's a great film story, and it's a great film just cinematically.
Yeah, oh yeah,
it's outstanding.
Oh yeah.
And you get on me.
Look, I'm not an old movie guy, but the ones I like, and I am actually shocked that you've only seen Streetcar Named Desire once, because it really is. That cast crackles.
Okay.
So, all right, but go ahead. Who's next?
All
All right.
Next. In 6 films or less.
Okay.
Connect D'Urville Martin to this famous Shawn.
Okay.
You may not consider him famous.
Okay.
Shawn Ashmore.
Well, first of all, I don't know who that is.
Shawn Ashmore, actually.
I need a picture.
That is Shawn Ashmore.
Oh, right. Someone said Kirkland Brand. He's the Kirkland Brand version of the dude from Lord of the Rings.
Fair enough. Yeah. He's not in Lord of the Rings.
No, he's not, but he is Iceman.
He is Iceman.
He is Iceman. Because I said, why is the Lord of the Rings dude Iceman? People were like, that's not the Lord of the Rings dude. And I was like, oh, okay.
I think that's very unfair. He doesn't even look like any of them.
He does look.
No, he doesn't.
He's like a little puckish white guy. He's puckish.
White blindness.
He's puckish.
He does not look like him.
He was puckish.
He does not.
He looks like he does a little dance. He looks puckish.
Jesus.
All right. So of course I'm gonna go to Halle Berry. Let's see if I get to her interesting. He's kind of puckish.
It's not puckish. The man's 6'9".
Is he really? No. I was about to say. All right. D'Urville Martin. Is in Sheba Baby with Pam Grier. Mm-hmm. Pam Grier is in Jackie Brown.
Yes.
With Samuel Jackson. Samuel Jackson is in Finding Isaiah.
Oh, okay. With
Halle Berry.
And
she is in X-Men with Shawn, what's his last name?
Ashmore.
Shawn Ashmore. There you go. Shawn Ashmore.
There you go. Well done.
Yeah. Finding Isaiah has been on my long list for a year or so now. I remember really liking it.
Never saw it.
I remember really liking it. I'm not going to recommend it, but I remember liking it.
Okay.
A lot. We were why was I talking about Jungle Fever? I was just talking about Jungle Fever. I think Camille saw Jungle Fever for the first time.
Oh, okay.
And we were talking about Samuel Jackson and Halle Berry, and Halle Berry's fantastic in it. But you know the funny thing, and I saw somebody write this, and Halle Berry responded to it like she needed to get herself together because her and Samuel Jackson were both junkies in Jungle Fever, and then in Losing Isaiah, he's a lawyer and she's still a junkie. Like, get yourself together. He done got off that narcotic and went to law school. You still a junkie.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is 6 degrees.
There you go. 6 degrees, D'Urville Martin. So
well done, Vincent.
Takeaway is everyone go watch Streetcar Named Desire.
Yes. Go watch A Streetcar Named Desire, or you can join Vincent and I on August 13th at Bryn Mawr Film Institute, where we will be returning with the Be Real Micheaux screening series with our good friend Stephanie Watts and screening Rush Hour.
Yeah.
With Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan, August 13th at the Bryn Mawr Film Institute. Tickets are on sale right now at brynmarfilm.org. Check it out. Be there. Free pretzels. Each and every one of you. And we'll be showing a short film called Stalls that I did.
Oh, Renaissance Man Lynn.
Yeah, it's a 20-year-old film.
Look, man.
All right. Before we get into our review of Little Man, Vincent and I have a film that stars 4 men. Well, actually 3 men and a lady that we want to talk to you about because, Vincent, last night we saw Fantastic Four, The First Steps.
Yes, and the embargo is lifted.
The embargo is lifted, so we can give our review. We are going to first give our thoughts on the film, and then we'll dive just, not hardcore, but there may be some spoilers after that, just letting you know, okay? Some small spoilers. No, nothing big out of the bag. I think pretty much the story has been told.
It's not a lot to spoil, actually.
Yeah, I forgot.
Like, I'm curious to see what it is that you think is a spoiler.
Well, I actually am remembering that Galactus is in the trailer.
Yeah, yeah.
So...
yeah,
at least his shadow.
Yeah.
So there you go. So I will start.
Yeah.
Because as fans of the Micheaux Mission probably know that I not only am Vincent and I are huge comic book fans, but I'm a huge Batman fan. But second only to Batman, as far as in the world of comic books, I am a Fantastic Four fan.
Okay,
that is my favorite comic book outside of Batman.
People listening who value your judgment, the best run?
Fantastic Four?
What's the run that people should read? I don't really like comics like that. I kind of keep my toe on this thing. I value Lynn's opinion. He says his thing. What's the run of Fantastic Four I should read?
The one that people will be able to read and appreciate is John Byrne's run.
Okay.
It's a little dated because it's from the 80s. But the art is the art holds up. The story holds up. It is accessible. So I would say John Byrne's run. After that,
choice.
Then go pick up Jonathan Hickman's run.
Okay.
That's what I would say.
All right, but please continue.
But being a Fantastic Four fan, I've been waiting a long time for a good Fantastic Four movie. And they have had 4 shots at this. One by Roger Corman from the 80s that never made it to the silver screen. But you can catch it in bootleg. Every comic book fan has seen bootlegs.
Sure, absolutely.
And it was rightfully never made it to the screen. It was a less said about that movie, the better. In the early 2000s, Tim Story did 2 Fantastic Four films within 4 years. Fantastic Four and then Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer. They're very meh films. Very meh. They're competently made. That's the best you can say about those films.
Yeah.
And then 2015, there was a reboot of the Fantastic Four that tried to make them dark and gritty.
Oh, yeah.
And they just made them ugly and shitty.
Yeah.
And it was horrible. And now we have the Fantastic Four. Now, finally, under Marvel's Studios control, because for a long time they were with 20th Century Fox through all of those permutations. But now they are under Marvel Studios control, and they have a film directed by Matt Shakman, which premieres this week, starring Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn, and Eben Moss Baccarat as the Fantastic Four, battling their greatest enemy, Galactus. Well, their second greatest enemy.
I'll just say,
the second greatest enemy. Also featuring the birth of their son. It is a film that is more or less a period piece, because while it is set in this multiverse world of Marvel, it is set on another Earth, but it's set in the 60s with a very kitschy, futuristic, but 60s Mad Men-ish type of aesthetic to it. A lot of Art Deco going around. It is a fantastic looking film, and it is easily the best Fantastic Four film there has ever been, with a cast that is well cast in this role. The second they said Pedro Pascal was going to be Mr. Fantastic, I was like, I am in, because I am a Pedro Pascal fan. And this film, I like this film. I wanted to love it. I don't love it. I love the aesthetics. I love Pedro Pascal. They made Mr. Fantastic stretching work. They made the Invisible Girl work. They even made Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, lighting up as the Human Torch work. There were other things about the film that just kind of knocked it down a little bit for me. And I liked it a lot. I didn't love it. A lot of people said when The Incredibles, Pixar's The Incredibles came out, Brad Bird, who was the writer and director of that film, was unapologetic that he kind of like took his inspiration for The Incredibles from the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And you can see that this film owes a lot to The Incredibles, including the music, because both films feature music by Michael Giacchino. And it's a fantastic music. It's perfect. You already started humming it. The Fantastic Four.
Oh, yeah.
It's an earwig. So there's a lot of it that is smartly done. But I walk away just not loving it as much as I wanted to.
I mean, you're going to tell us why, or is that a secret?
I think the reason why I didn't love it is because I don't feel that the chemistry that they wanted to show between the actors, who I think are all well cast for the most part for their roles, I don't think it played well in the direction. Some of the over talking over each other didn't resonate with me. Pedro Pascal, I think, is perfectly cast as Mr. Richards, but the Mr. Richards that I see on screen, I thought was not as... I don't know. 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 I don't I'll take that back. He was fine. He was fine because he wasn't the problem. The problem with the film is, a lot of the films and the motivations of the plot revolves around Johnny Storm, the Human Torch's character, and Joseph Quinn, who I don't mind as an actor. I saw him in a Quiet Place day one, and he was great in that. It was Lupita Nyong'o. But in this, I just don't buy him as Johnny Storm at all.
Okay.
It starts with this wig by Tyler Perry that he has on his head, and then it just goes on to this dopey face that he has. I just didn't believe him in that role, but a lot of the film hinges on you believing him in that role, and I didn't believe him. The look of Ben Grimm as the Thing looks great. The voice by Ibn Bakra from
The Bear.
From The Bear.
Yeah.
His voice is on point. I think he maybe undersells a couple of the moments. I would have liked him maybe be a little bit more animated at times. But I also think that while the Thing himself looks good, he doesn't feel in the room. He doesn't feel like he feels like a piece of special effects as opposed to actually feeling like a person, akin to the Hulk in most of the Marvel films. I feel the Hulk in that room. I don't feel the Thing in this room.
That's a good, yeah.
I don't feel him in that room, and they don't try and hide him, so he's there. And they have fun with him, like they dress him up in clothes and everything like that. But even then, when they dress him up in the clothes look like special effects on him. They don't look like clothes on him, and it just would take me out of the film a lot.
That's a good point. To that point, I think it would have fit in with the aesthetic more. I mean, frankly, if they'd have just done practical effects, like figure out how to make this work with a suit.
You know, my partner said that exact same.
Yeah, like just put somebody in it and have him voice it. But
she said that's why she missed the Michael Chiklis version.
Yeah, I also love the Fantastic Four as a concept, and as someone who did what they say people do, ask the question that you really want to answer. I think the first, here you go, here's my second hot take of the evening. I think Citizen Kane is a great film. I think the first 100 issues of the Fantastic Four with Stan Lee and Jack Kirby is the greatest run of comics ever done.
Okay.
Like, I think if you want to know why people love this form, the first 100 issues of the Fantastic Four has everything.
By this form, you mean comic
books. Okay. Like the way we talk about comic books as an American art form, the first 100 issues of the Fantastic Four are perfect.
Okay.
Having said that, I think the makers of this film agreed with me because so much of the aesthetic, so much of the look draws from that, which in my mind is the smartest thing about doing the Fantastic Four. I think the Fantastic Four, like, I think of something like Green Lantern, or like there's a character named Adam Strange. Like, I think there are some concepts that pop the best when they are set in the period in which they were created.
Okay.
And I think the Fantastic Four, what has been missing from the adaptations that you talked about, is that they try to modernize it, they try this, and I think when you take the Fantastic Four out of this kind of retro 60s context, it loses a lot about what makes the Fantastic Four special. So I love the fact that for all intents and purposes, this was a period piece. I have to say for all intents and purposes, because at no point in the film did they say it's 1963.
That's right.
Like it's a parallel planet, so this might just be what the planet looks like, which I'm assuming that's what it's going to, because at one point they're going to pull it all together. So I loved everything about the look of the film, and I think that's the complete star of the film. I think as someone who also loves the Fantastic Four, we talked about this a little bit earlier before we start taping. I am not a fan of Galactus as a narrative device, because it's a non-starter. Like part of what I said when I said what are the spoilers, like he's not going to eat Earth.
Right.
Like spoiler, Galactus doesn't eat Earth.
Right.
And there's nothing to punch.
Mm-hmm.
So once you get kind of past the spectacle of look at this big thing, it's not a lot there. And then, you got to deal with Silver Surfer. And if Silver Surfer is done the way Silver Surfer is supposed to be done, and you even see this in my 100 issues, he takes over the story.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the Fantastic Four become supporting characters. And, they don't want to do that. So then they kind of change the character and in a lot of ways take away what's special about Silver Surfer. So there's this big hole in the middle of the actual plot for me where I found myself not caring about the actual story.
Mm-hmm.
And that, in my mind, is what made me like it, not love it. I think I admire the fact that this late into the Marvel movies, they have something this stylized. Because I do think one of the critiques that we make about Marvel movies, and I've certainly made this critique, is that after a while it just looks like another thing that they've kind of wheeled out. Like I know we were all supposed to talk about the Thunderbolts and yay Thunderbolts, but Thunderbolts just look like Marvel movie du jour.
Conveyor belt.
It's like your mom came home late on Wednesday night and there was no food in the refrigerator and she kind of put together something. But so I love the look of it. I actually like the cast a lot. Not going to get into the weeds too much, but I like this Johnny because he's kind of a meathead.
Yeah, you said
because he I think you look at the history of the Fantastic Four. There's a moment where Johnny becomes like almost this himbo in this pretty boy. But I never really liked that Johnny. Like I like the Jack Kirby, Stan Lee, where he's he's a gearhead, he's kind of a knucklehead. He's basically Sue's little brother.
I was going to say he's brother Johnny.
Right, he's brother. Johnny.
Everybody's little brother.
So I like that. I feel bad for the movie because they're situating it as this sort of foundation of the next kind of development in the movie. And to answer, a couple of questions I've seen, I don't think it's fair for it to be situated like this, much like Superman was. Like, I think Superman was a much better suited film for this is the foundation for the next stuff. Like I actually would rather they had kind of kept this separate. Like I would have loved 2 or 3 Fantastic Four movies where I don't need them to meet Black Widow in Namor and in Ms. Marvel. Like I would rather it be its own thing, but the machine is the machine. But I liked it. I liked it, much like you. I didn't love it, but I liked it, and the parts that I liked a lot. No. So, would you recommend someone go see it?
I think they should see it. I mean, I do think for the spectacle of it all, it is still something worth seeing.
I think
and I think that it is. I think it's a fun time at the movies. It's an enjoyable times in the movies, and this is the selling point. It's not that long. It's not 2 hours.
Look, again,
that is a selling point.
Right. I will say this. This is a spoiler, and I'm gonna spoil this so people don't become like me. Part of the reason I think the first 100 issues of the Fantastic Four is the greatest run of comics ever is the sheer amount of ideas.
Well, yes, that is all
that you get from that, like Namor, the Inhumans, Black Panther, Doctor Doom, Mole Man, Galactus, Silver Surfer, like the sheer amount of ideas that you get in there. If you're like me, you're going to go in there looking for references to a lot of this stuff, and it's not there.
Yeah. The only reason, and then I see there's a question from Robert Monroe, and I'm actually going to
we're wrap it up. Yeah.
The only reason I don't choose the Kirby Lee above Burn. And I know some people, and I think I've even heard you say this, that some of Burn feels like maybe like just redoing.
Yeah, it's just cleaned up Kirby Lee.
Right.
Which, frankly, is what he says.
And fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But the only reason I would still choose, I don't choose Lee and Kirby, is because the ideas are there. I'm not a great fan of Stan Lee's writing because he does the dialogue.
Of course.
There. And maybe it's just because of the times in which I was raised. I don't like all of the characterizations there, especially what they did with Sue Storm. They don't do anything with Sue Storm.
I mean, it's 1960.
Okay, but you say it's. Look, you know what? Here, bruh. You want to land on that it was 1960s and this is what happened, right? But there are other books out there that don't treat their women characters the way that Sue Storm is treated.
Which one are we talking about?
There are a lot that do, but there are some that don't.
And your beloved Byrne has her trying to hook up with him when she's 12.
What?
Remember the John Byrne? We really got to get off. The John Byrne one is when she meets him when she's like 12, 13, and he's a graduate student. And she says, I'm going to marry him one day.
That doesn't happen in the
That
Byrne
100% happens.
not.
It 100%
It not.
happens in Byrne's run.
It does not. I probably reread that run about 2 years ago. I don't remember that scene at all.
The flashback where they meet, she's like 12, 13, and he's a
I'll need
graduate.
receipts.
Okay.
I'll
All
need
right.
receipts.
Okay.
I'll need receipts. We are going to stick a pin in that
All right.
till next
okay.
week.
All right. But go
I
ahead.
need receipts.
But yeah.
All right. So
All right. But we're finished. George, we're waving.
George Carmona,
waving,
we're
George.
done. We're
Tell
done.
George we're waving.
The last thing we're going to answer, and you can come back for this, George. Robert Monroe asked, and I'll ask you, which is better, Superman or Fantastic Four?
I think Superman's better.
I think Superman's better too.
Yeah.
I think Superman's better. I think Superman's more fun. Yeah, I think Superman's better.
All right. There you go.
There you go. All right. Oh, look, we've got just enough time to review Lil Man from 2006. Little Man, a 2006 American comedy directed by Keenan Ivory Wayans, co-wrote and co-produced by Marlon and Shawn Wayans, who also star in the film, that features Kerry Washington, John Witherspoon, Tracy Morgan, Chaz Palminteri, Lachlan Monroe, and one Molly Shannon. It follows a jewel thief with dwarfism who hides the proceeds of his latest robbery, then pretends to be a very large baby in order to retrieve it. This film was released in July of 2006, and while it was a commercial success, it was critically panned. However, it is an award-winning film, as it walked home with not one, not two, but 3 Golden Raspberry Awards. And it was Vincent's selection for this stop on the Micheaux mission. Vincent, what say you of Lil Man?
Look, I think the thing about the Wayans brothers, and when I say the Wayans brothers, I'm speaking specifically of the younger brothers. You have 2 types of movies that they do. You have the parodies, scary movie, dance movie. You know, there was a spoof of Mr. Black, of 50 Shades of Grey. 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
And then you have, for lack of a better term, the high concept movies, where you know, and you think about White Girls. What if they go undercover? And then something like this, Lil Man. I'm realizing I generally don't like parody as a form because I think it's inherently lazy. I think it can be elevated, but just as a default form, somebody did something and then I'm going to make fun of it. You start at lazy and then maybe you can elevate it.
Okay.
In many, many interviews, all of the Wayans brothers, Keenen, Damon, Shawn, and Marlon, talk about how they studied the great parody, which is Airplane. And Marlon even talks about when Keenen got his start, and Keenen, actually his career was going, and the younger Wayans would go visit. Mm-hmm. It was almost like school where he would tell them to study Airplane. And certainly Airplane, we've all established, we've all kind of agreed is the Citizen Kane of parody films. But, what I find fascinating about Airplane is that the parody of this as it's a parody of the disaster film,
right,
is really kind of this framework for juvenile, but some really kind of smart bits in there. I like my coffee like I like my men, black. I speak Jav. Everything with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I have a drinking problem. Like all of these are really, Shirley, you must be kidding. I'm not, and don't call me Shirley. Like these are, snappy kind of fun things. And that part I think is missing from a lot of the parodies. So I'm not really a fan just generally of the Wayans brothers. And then the high concept films, and now I'm going into Little Man. I think a lot of this depends on how much do you like silliness? Like how much do you like silliness?
Right.
And depending on how you answer that, that really is going to tell you how much you will enjoy this film. This film, it's basically, again, talking about students of comedy. This is basically a film version of the classic Bugs Bunny cartoon with Baby Finster.
That's right.
Where you have a criminal who is small in stature, and because of some MacGuffin, in the case of this film, it's a diamond that gets placed in Kerry Washington's character's purse. And I have to pretend to be a child or a baby, in this case a baby, and hijinks ensue with this hardened criminal pretending to be a baby. In this case, it is Marlon who is playing the baby. His brother Shawn plays Kerry Washington's character's husband, and then John Witherspoon is there as Kerry Washington's character's father. And the film is really the four of them.
Right.
And then silliness occurs. I think Kerry Washington plays her position. She's basically there as the female lead, but the real heft in the film, if I can use the word heft, is between these three performers that by this point have worked together for years on the Wayans brothers. That would be Shawn and Marlon Wayans, and then, of course, John Witherspoon. Mm-hmm. And I have to say, I like them together. Like, I think the note that I would have given to this film is, look, throw the three of them together. And if there's any moment in this film that I kind of looked up a little bit, it was when John Witherspoon bounced off of Marlon. And quite honestly, the conceit that John Witherspoon is a father-in-law who doesn't necessarily like Shawn's character that much, I thought it was a bit of a flit of a spark with them two. Distractingly skinny Tracy Morgan plays a criminal in here, And he's sort of there, nothing really there. Chaz Palminteri shows up as Chaz Palminteri, Italian gangster type, for 2 or 3 scenes. And he's like, I hope they didn't spend too much money to get Chaz Palminteri, because they could have gotten Chaz Palminteri type to play Chaz Palminteri type. The jokes are exactly what you think the jokes are. At some point there's a baby with a human-sized penis joke. There's some boob jokes. Frankly, there's a bit of a joke that, if you think about it longer than 30 seconds, is like, is this sexual assault that I'm just seeing? Mm-hmm. But I think back to it being juvenile, the film does not want you to think, nor does it expect you to think about this at all. I was kind of fascinated by this sort of time capsule that is 2006. Mm-hmm. So at this point, the Wayans are comedy royalty. Yeah. There are alumni from In Living Color, Saturday Night Live, and Mad TV. Mm-hmm. Each for a scene, and they all show up, and you can tell they show up because the Wayans have asked them to show up. Yeah. And that's kind of interesting, just outside of the quality of the film. But again, if you don't mind silly films, I think this film is nothing more than what it aspired to be. Mm-hmm. And if you look at it through that lens, I thought it was perfectly serviceable. Put that on the box set. You're Little Man, perfectly serviceable.
You are a quote-smith, Vincent. Yeah, I in general am not a fan of just silly for silly's sake films, right? But they are a dime a dozen out there, and there's no reason why that there can't be a genre of black film, a lane for black creatives who just want to go and make silly black film.
Right.
Silly comedies. And I think Shawn and Marlon Wayans, that is the lane in which they have carved themselves
an empire.
Yeah, right? They've got their own like highway. It's their expressway, right? So God bless them for that. Mm-hmm. That being said, though, there is a point where you can be silly and I'm fine with it, but what I can't go for is being lazy.
Okay.
And silly. And I think that this film is silly, but I think more egregiously it's lazy.
Okay.
Especially a couple of things considering. That is directed by Keenen Ivory Wayans, who I'm not going to say Keenen Ivory Wayans is an auteur.
Right.
But he's a director. He's
certainly by 2006.
Yes, he is a man who has been behind it. He knows how to tell a story on film, right? And I think that this film, considering that he is directing it, is poorly directed. Mm-hmm. I think there are some shots that are set up that make absolutely no sense why they are set up this way. They are so pedestrian, they don't even look TV sitcom worthy. Mm-hmm. They just look like amateurish, honestly. In some of the staging, in some of the camera work that is done, honestly, in some of the editing, and I don't know how much I can blame the editing on Keenen Ivory Wayans, but as a director, you got final say on that.
Sure.
So it's got to lay at your feet. So that bothered me, but more to the point, the laziness of the writing. You talk about there's boob jokes. There's a joke that is made when the baby sees this buxom blonde that is at this. They throw a birthday party for him, and he, finds his way up on her lap, and he's jumping up and down on her lap, and he's like, I want to be nursed. I want to be nursed, and there's a close up of her breasts, and that's the whole joke.
Yeah.
It's about him wanting to be nursed and take advantage of this woman in this moment, right? And that scene plays out. The very next scene, and what happens is that he thinks he's going to be nursed by this woman.
But come to find out,
it's another white woman there who actually has a young baby who she is nursing, who actually does nurse him. Right, and these are not the breasts that he came for.
These are not the breasts that he came for.
The very next scene is him in a bathtub, and Kerry Washington as the mother, quote unquote, kind of like intimating that she's about to get in the bathtub with him, and he gets excited for that. And then lo and behold, it's not going to be Kerry Washington. It's going to be the father figure, Shawn Wayans. That is basically the same joke back to back. That is lazy to me. That is lazy writing to me. And it plays out even more egregiously because they are directly the one scene directly into the other.
Absolutely.
And there is a lot of that same type of thing going on in this film. One of the great things about Airplane, the film, like you talked about, is that while it is 1,000 jokes coming at you in that film, of those 1,000 jokes, it probably is really only, let's say, 300 jokes. But then those jokes keep getting built upon in the movie. So like Peter Graves' character in the beginning is talking about, like, hey, have you ever, like drank milk from a baby or what? It's some stupid thing. By the end of the movie, it's totally insane. Same with the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar character. Same with the woman talking jive. That's the smartness of that movie.
I picked a bad week to quit sniffing glue.
Exactly. In this film, they don't even trust their jokes that much because they are just throwing them all against the wall and they're just moving on to the next thing. So they don't even trust that, hey, we can maybe build upon this. This can be a bit of the story in this film. And that is endemic of a lot of their movies. You get away with it to a degree in something like Don't Be a Menace, which is basically trying to be a spoof of an entire genre of films.
Right.
So it turns in basically to the Saturday Night Live of gangster movie parodies.
Right.
But Little Man, films like White Chicks, which are a high concept, which means that they are first and foremost built on a concept, but that concept is placed upon a story.
Right.
You've got to trust in your story first, and then you've got to have your jokes service the story. They don't have the trust in doing that. And I think, especially by 2006, they are just lazy at it, and they're just walking, they're just sleepwalking through the movie. I've said it before, unfortunately, because he keeps making films and that we are going to review. I'm going to keep saying it. Shawn Wayans does not belong at the lead of anything. He adds absolutely nothing to this film. I do not find him funny. Whatever chemistry you think you see between him and Marlon, perhaps there's some because they're brothers, but I really don't see it at all. He just comes off as just this blank slate on screen. This person that's standing in between John Witherspoon and Marlon Wayans. And I found him just, I didn't even find him annoying. I just found him in the way. Like, just get out of the way. Like, I would have so much more loved to see more Tracy Morgan and Marlon Wayans dynamic and that being built upon, because you lose Tracy Morgan because you've got to stay with the Wayans brothers so much in the film.
I think this is a terrible defense of Shawn. It's almost a version of part of my defense, and it's only part because, you know, I'm a champion of Diana Ross in The Wiz. But I think Shawn works in a way that Diana Ross works in The Wiz, where like part of my argument for Diana Ross in The Wiz is that she has to be in The Wiz if you want to get Michael Jackson like the joy and the exuberance of Michael Jackson is dependent on Diana Ross being there. Even in this film, I like Marlon with Tracy Morgan, but even within this film, I think there is a looseness to Marlon when he's with Shawn that is, I'll take what you said a step further. I think it is 100% because they are brothers. And if there's a defense of Shawn Wayans in front of the camera, because to be clear, we talked about this last week, I honestly think Shawn Wayans should follow the path of Keenen, because they all agree. They all say Shawn is a writer and this, like, he should stay behind the camera. But I also think that Marlon likes working with Shawn.
Okay.
And if you like Marlon, you kind of got to take Shawn. Like you gotta take Shawn if you want if you want Marlon, you know, Marlon, you got to bring your brother.
Well, I think at this moment in time that probably is true.
Well, I think what's happening now is as
you're seeing Marlon flex.
We see more and more, or just he's at the point where he feels comfortable by himself.
He stand on his own. He stand on his own. Now, they say Shawn, you know, more of a writer or whatever. Mm-hmm. If this is the evidence of it, then, you know, I need to see the evidence of it.
I guess what I have a hard time with is figuring out my line between lazy and silly. I like your observation that it's basically the same joke between the boob joke and the bath joke. But I think you get a different visual with the boob joke and the bath joke. And to Shawn's defense, like, you actually get a moment of physical comedy with Shawn, because now he's getting in the bathtub and this, that, and the other. Look, man, none of this is like none of this is Uptown Saturday Night. But I if you were 11, dare I say 12, would that doubling of the joke have bothered you, or would that have made you laugh?
Well, first of all, if you were 11 or 12, you couldn't see this film.
I mean, right, I know it's rated R, and certainly 12-year-olds aren't watching rated R movies.
Okay, but still,
right.
The fact
again,
is,
if you were 11 or 12, because let's be clear, I think the target audience for this Wayans category that we're talking about is a hard 13.
See, I disagree. I don't think that's their target audience.
Who's
I
their
just
tar-
think
what do you
I
think
just
the
think
age
that's the
is?
level of their humor.
What do you
But
think
I
their
don't-
target audience
I
is?
think their target audience is the adults, because this movie was a success, who do like this humor. I don't. And God bless them if they do. But there are adults in the room who love this humor.
Then they have you know, not to be that guy, but they have a 13-year-old sense of humor. Like, I think this is the aesthetic.
Okay, but
Like
that's their target audience is the adults, though. It's not.
Yeah, but they're adults who think like kids. Like, if you think farts and boobs and dick jokes are the height of comedy, you have a juvenile sense of humor. So, okay, you're 18, you're 19, you're 37, you're 13. I think that is the and again, I think if a dick joke cracks you up, this doubling of bits that you're talking about not only doesn't bother you, but you like it. It's a variation of a theme.
No, yeah. You're right.
I get boobs and butts, and then you get the cherry on top, then you get the fart joke right after. We gonna make our own jacuzzi. And you know me, I'm always keeping track. It's like, okay, I got a dick joke, I got a fart joke.
Right.
I did not get a funny accent. Like I didn't get a funny foreigner accent, nor did I get a gay joke. Like I missed my complete bingo because I didn't get a funny accent and I didn't get a gay joke. Well, I guess
there is a gay joke.
Technically, at the beginning, it's a gay joke because he says the sweet lip, see you later, sweet lips or something, right?
Yeah.
Is that the gay joke?
Well, I was actually thinking at the end of the joke because he makes a Brokeback Mountain joke.
Right, Brokeback, right. And I guess in some ways the thermometer could be a gay joke. The rectal thermometer, that's a gay joke. So like all I missed was the funny accent. And I would have gotten juvenile humor bingo that I always play.
And mincing words a little bit, you can like that type of humor and recognize that it's not the height of humor. And I like, there are silly films that I like. One of my favorite films, Mad World, is silly. I know it's silly, but I don't mind silliness. But there still should be some level of intelligence there, and I see zero in this. film.
Look.
I see zero in this film.
Yeah, well.
And I found it to be. I was bored.
I wasn't bored. I think it moved. It moved from piece to piece. Like it. I wasn't interested, but I wasn't bored. Oh. But then I realized, again, this is just not my. This is not my thing. Like this is just not my thing. Like I can't do a whole lot with, again, dick jokes, fart jokes, boob jokes. Like it's just not my thing. But that's no reflection of the thing. That's a reflection of me. Like I can't expect a thing to not be itself.
Okay, fair.
Which so.
Would you recommend that people see Lil Man?
Look, man, I think if you like this, yeah.
I mean, but you can say that about any film.
No. If you like this type of humor.
Okay.
Yeah. I think at this point, I've never actually seen White Chicks.
Me neither.
And I realized as I was watching, so I was like, well, I need to go ahead and watch White Chicks. Because I do think that the Wayans, much like Tyler Perry, regardless of my personal taste, are important when we talk about the black aesthetic and black art. So you should know about their films. To be brutally honest, I don't have a big enough frame of reference to say where. Like I've seen 2 Scream films. I've seen Don't Be a Menace. I feel like I'm missing something.
Well, 50 Shades of Black.
I didn't see 50 Shades of Black. I just know it exists.
Seen?
Yeah. I watched it. I thought I saw something with Marlon, like one of them Netflix movies. But I don't think this is any better. Or I don't. Do you think Scream was better than this? Not Scream. Scary Movie. Do you think Scary? There you go. There you go. Now we got a frame of reference. Do you think Scary Movie was better than this? A, because I do.
Yes.
B, how much better than this do you think Scary Movie was?
I think Scary Movie is better than this because it's basically a parody movie, so it's joke from joke to joke. But I think it is. I think in that setting, these just jokes for joke's sakes work better, and I think it is a better made, better written film. So yes.
Follow-up question. Is there someone who would like Scary Movie and like this is my jam? Mm-hmm. Would they dislike this film, do you think?
I think there is, because, and it's been a minute since I've seen Scary Movie.
Yeah, we probably watched it together last time you saw it.
Right. But I think there is a level of crassness in this film that is probably 2 or 3 steps below Scary Movie, because, and maybe that's because of the films that Scary Movies are parodying. But I think that level of crassness, there are some people, they don't want to go that low. It may be turned off by.
Okay. So you would not say if you like Scary Movie,
you will definitely
like this.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that.
Okay. So you are not recommending it.
No, I would not recommend it.
Not recommend. Okay. I think talking it out just now, I agree with you. I also would not recommend this film. So there you go.
There you go. Before we tell you what we're going to be reviewing next week here on the Micheaux Mission, I invite you.
I realize I don't know what we're reviewing next week.
You don't?
Oh, yeah, I'm real tapped in. I'm like, oh, boy, what we going to watch next week?
Wait, you'll love this one.
All right.
Before we tell you, though, I invite you to have your voice heard. Email us at micheauxmission@gmail.com. That's micheauxmission@gmail.com. You can always find the Micheaux Mission on the social media of your choice, whether or not it be Instagram, TikTok, or Threads. We're on Threads. Yes, we are. You can find us at Micheaux Mission. You can always subscribe to the Micheaux Mission wherever you find podcasts, including YouTube, where you can subscribe, hit the bell, and be notified of when we go live and when we put up all of our videos and all of our wonderful shorts. Shout out to each and every one of you who likes and loves and all of them and leaves all of the comments. We have a, excuse me, in August, we're going to do one show where instead of email, we're just going to go through a lot of our YouTube comments. We got some good ones for you, Vincent.
All right.
Hey, they got words for you, bro. So wait till you hear all that. So shout out to each and every one of you who likes all of that and who joins us every 7 p.m. live on Tuesdays from Young Chunk, Philadelphia's premier video podcast palace, where we stream live. If you want to book yourself in one of the fabulous studios that they have here, you can go to youngchunk.com and get yourself in. All right. The Micheaux Mission is also a proud member of The Podglomerate. ThePodglomerate.com. They make podcast work such as ours, which will be returning next Tuesday, June 29th, with a new annual, no, you know what? I'm going to do this quarterly feature here on the Micheaux Mission as we go 1 degree of D'Urville Martin. That's right. It's a D'Urville Martin film next week. And boy, this is the one. As we review D'Urville Martin and Billy D. Williams in the final come down.
The final come down.
Next week.
Nice. Have you ever seen it?
Nope.
I don't know if I've ever seen it.
I feel like I know all the stars by now.
I know. It's only 2 that matter. It's only 2 that matter.
Next week here on the Micheaux Mission. Until then, he's Vincent. I'm Len. And in parting, we say,
we'll see you when it's time to meet again.
Bye, Dylan.
Bye, Dylan.
Young John.